dkdynamite for some more shocking news here for you guys this afternoon. Did not expect another big reveal when it comes to Black Ops 6 Zombies. They went ahead and provided us with all the launch comms when it comes to Augments, Gobblegums, Perks, and some other upgrades. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and as of a couple days ago, we officially launched the Detonated Stockpile, a Call of Duty bundle tracker, which currently has every single pack from Modern Warfare 2 and 3, with Warzone 1 era bundles coming in the next few weeks. We'll, of course, update you guys with every Black Ops 6 pack once bundles start getting added in within the first season. You can also follow Detonated on Twitter for the hourly coverage brought to you guys by DTND co-owner Mr. Fajardi, and you can follow me on Twitter at dkdynamite1. With that being said, I posted a COD HQ UI tour about an hour ago, but here we have it with another blog post back to back. Did not expect that today, but here we have it, right? Prevail against the Dark Ether undead hordes with proper zombies prep, and they went ahead and detailed us with new information about Liberty Falls and the changes since the COD Next broadcast. So they link us to previous zombies intel for those that missed out on some of the other gameplay systems, how round base works, the wonder weapons, but here are some zombie launch updates from Treyarch, right? Liberty Falls does look a lot moodier, as they confirm on the COD pod. They have changed the map's atmosphere since the COD Next event back in August. So as they said, Treyarch continue to iterate on the look, feel, and sound of Liberty Falls to crank up the map's creepiness factor. Heading into launch, players can expect a moodier visual tone to the map, along with a gorier set dressing and new environmental audio to more intensely reflect the chaos of a very recent dimensional breach. Yeah, the map definitely looks a lot different, as you will see. Additional atmospheric elements related to the map's main quest will also be present throughout Liberty Falls as players begin to solve the mysteries waiting for them in the wake of the undead incursion. And of course, there's going to be an Easter egg song from Treyarch's Kevin Sherwood to go ahead and discover. HUD touch-ups. Yes, they have touched up the HUD quite a bit. Character portraits added to the lower left corner by default. Generic alignment and color adjustments made across the entire HUD. Perk icons now positioned closer together. Zombie-specific widgets added for certain in-game actions. In-game Gobblegum reward animations added. Visibility sliders added to allow players to fine-tune or completely disable additional HUD elements, including score feed, medal and notifications, minimap opacity, weapon and equipment information, plus even more. Above is a preview of the updated default HUD. Let's open that in a new tab so you guys can see. This is the updated HUD. I'm gonna move my camera so you can see the bottom left corner. So yeah, you get the operator icon there, which is perfect. Reminds me a lot, of course, of BO3 and BO4. You still got armor, you got your health, you got your points, you got your salvage. Perks will be here towards the middle. And then on the right, you'll of course see your equipment, field upgrade, ammo, the rarity of your pack-a-punch, and then your select fire mode. So you could of course move other things around if you so please, or just disable the HUD completely if that is what you guys want to do. But jumping into augments, equip augments to your Perk-a-colos, ammo mods, and field upgrades to modify their performance. Now I made a video talking about augments several weeks ago because they did confirm over 100 augments for launch, but they didn't exactly detail what each of them do. So as a recap, augments are unlockable gameplay advantages you can apply to every perk, ammo mod, and field upgrade in the game, which provide a rich and innovative customization experience, allowing you to invest into research between matches. And you can learn more about augments in the original Black Ops 6 Zombies reveal blog, but there are 108 available to unlock and equip at the game's launch, divided as follows: 48 for perks, 30 for ammo mods, and 30 for field upgrades. The cool thing is though, there obviously is a tab at the main menu to go ahead and equip these. You can't actually equip all of them at once, which is really important to remember. It's not like the Cold War Ethereum upgrade system where you can essentially gather up crystals and upgrade every part of your class, from your weapons, perks, field upgrades, ammo mods. You can only equip certain amounts of field upgrades at a time. You can only equip certain augments at one moment in time. So, at level 11 within the Black Ops 6 progression system, you'll unlock Augment Research. Once you research and unlock individual augments, they can be chosen before the start of a match for each individual perk, ammo mod, or field upgrade. To start researching an augment, simply select which item you like to research in the menu and start earning XP in-game to make progress towards unlocking the augment. Each item has 2 available augment slots, 1 for a major and 1 for a minor augment. Expect 3 major augments to choose from per item. A major augment offers a substantial advantage to the behavior of the item, usually during use. This is going to change zombie loadouts forever, by the way, at least with Black Ops 6. Expect 3 minor augments to choose from per item. A minor augment offers a limited advantage to the item, usually during use. We'll go back to these images in a second as well, but the depth of the augments customization experience becomes apparent as you learn the different effects of each augment and how they stack and affect other upgrades across the game. This subsequently allows you to customize your augments for your style of play, whether solo or squad based. If you've played a particular role in your squad, as a healer for example, you may already have a good idea of which augments you should search for, unlock, and employ along with other related power-ups to optimize your team's dynamics and survivability. So, I'm going to open that up in a new tab so you guys can see a nice view here of, let's say, the energy mine augments, right? So there's a frequency boost, increased detonation count and duration of energy mine. There's an extra charge. There's the energy mine now tracks nearby normal enemies for a short time. That's the siren. Then there's also scatter, right? It'll split into 3 mines that scatter and detonate at one time each. We saw that as, I think, one of the crystal upgrades in Cold War. 3 energy mines will float around you, detonated when an enemy is nearby. That's crazy. And then the turret, instead of detonating, energy mine becomes a turret that shoots targets one at a time. So of course, for our field upgrades, we're going to be seeing all at once from Cold War and MWZ for the most part. And then of course, Dark Flare is one of the new ones. So that's energy mine. But then jumping into Juggernog, obviously a must-have crutch perk in the game. You can see retaliation, deal bonus damage while health is low. Armor plates have more damage mitigation and slightly increased armor durability. And then there's slightly increased maximum health with Juggernog. When an armor plate breaks, nearby normal enemies are stunned for a short time, and armor can act as a shield on your back, completely absorbing damage to your back. No damage mitigation when hit from the front. So again, you have minor and major augments. You only put on one of each, so 1 yellow and 1 blue for each item, whether it's a perk, ammo mod, or field upgrade. Hopefully that makes sense. But as far as perks go, we of course know about the exact same set we had over at COD Next, as you can see here towards the left. But for Perk-a-Colas, obviously currency to access Perk-a-Colas is going to be essence, right? The points that you earn just by playing a match of zombies. They give us a recap here of how perks work. If you guys are familiar with zombies, you know exactly how that goes. Here is what every single perk does in the game for those out there that are maybe new to the zombies experience or just new to round-based in general. They'll be displayed along the bottom of your HUD. They last as long as you do. If you're down, expect to lose perks depending on how many you've obtained and how long you're down for. Very similar to the Cold War system if you guys played that, right? If you have all perks in the game and you go down, you lose a few off the rip, and then depending on how long you're down for, there'll be a meter that kind of just depletes and you'll start losing certain perks as you're down as well. But now moving on to stamina. For major augments, we have Free Faller, become immune to fall damage, Dasher, increased attack sprint duration, and Stalker, walk faster while aiming. For minor, we have Hard Target, while attack sprinting, projectile damage is reduced. Quarterback, use equipment while sprinting, and then Hot Foot, gain a speed boost after your equipment kills an enemy. Moving on to Speed Cola. Let's go ahead and get that up there. We have major augments, Supercharged. Field upgrades recharge a bit faster. Classic formula, reload speed is even faster. And then Phantom Reload, weapon magazines are slowly refilled over time. For minor, we have Speedy Roulette. The mystery box settles much faster. Quick Swap, swap weapons much faster. And then Fast Pitcher, deploy equipment even faster. But then moving on to good old Deadshot Daiquiri. Let's go ahead and get that pulled up there. We have Dead Head. Further increase in critical damage. Dead First, deal double critical damage if an enemy is at full health. And then Dead Again, critical hits have a chance of adding a bullet to your magazine. For minor, we have Dead Break, increase damage to armor pieces. Dead Draw, reduce hipfire spread. And then Dead Set, reduce gun movement while performing advanced movements. Once again, utilizing that omnidirectional support inside of Black Ops 6 Zombies. Moving on to Quick Revive. We have for major EMT, reviving an ally allows them to keep all the perks on their bleed out bar. Equivalent exchange, killing an enemy while down will revive you and remove Quick Revive. This can be done up to 3 times. And then the good old BO4 perk, Dying Wish. Unlethal damage, become immune to all damage for 2 seconds and keep 1 health. Quick Revive is removed on use though. Moving on to minor, we have Swift Recovery. Reviving an ally increases both of your movement speeds for a short time. Karmic Return, reviving an ally heals you to full health. And then Slow Death, increase your time in Last Stand. Moving on to a brand new perk from Cold War called Elemental Pop. You guys are probably familiar with it. It just lets you activate AATs even faster. Many of them, that is, when you're shooting. For major augments, as you can see here, we have Citrus Focus. If a weapon has an ammo mod applied, Elemental Pop will only activate that one. Imperial Peach, enemies that hit you have a chance to trigger a random ammo mod. And then for Electric Cherry, the good old perk coming back from BO2, reloading creates an electric charge that damages and stuns nearby normal enemies. The emptier the mag, the stronger the damage. For Minor, we have Vulnera Beam, slightly increased enemy elemental weakness damage. Pineapple Blast, equipment can also trigger a random ammo mod, and then Chill Berry, slightly reduce all ammo mod cooldowns. Moving on to the good old PhD Flopper, a classic perk from BO1. We have Gravity MD, just falling from heights creates explosions. DR Ram, Dr. Ram, Tactical Sprint knocks down and damages base zombies. PhD Slider, sliding into enemies will trigger explosions. So bringing back that Cold War version of PhD back into the mix. For Minor, we have Environmentalist, become immune to environmental damage while sliding. EOD Technician, slightly reduce height and distance requirements for explosions. And then Tribologist, sliding distance and speed will be increased. That's going to be it for our PhD augments there. But then moving on to our brand new perk for Black Ops 6, we have Melee Macchiato, a very fun perk that I loved using over at COD Next. We have for major augments, Espresso. Hey, shout out to Espresso, the Call of Duty YouTuber. All melee attacks are slightly faster. We then have Vampiric Extraction. Melee attacks heal a small amount of your health, and Triple Shot. Your punch can hit multiple enemies at once. For Minor, we have Stick and Move. Backpedal speed is increased after a successful melee attack. We have Strength Training. Your punch can one-hit kill normal enemies for longer, and Hidden Impact, melee kills reload a portion of your held weapons. But that's going to be it for the perk augments, right? It's good that we got a nice reveal of every single one of them. But moving on to ammo mods. If you're unfamiliar with the 5 available in BO6, that's Brain Rot, Cryo Freeze, Deadwire, Napalm, and Shadow Rift. More information is here in this blog, and of course in many of my previous BO6 zombie videos. It's worth pointing out that you unlock certain ammo mods at certain player levels. Deadwire you get off the rip. Napalm Burst is at level 6. Cryo Freeze at 14, Brain Rot at level 27, and the new AAT, Shadow Rift, at player level 44. Hopefully that's clear. But let's start off with good old Brain Rot. This is a classic AAT. As you can see here, for Major, we have Plague. The charmed enemy has a chance to turn other enemies. Pheromone. The charmed enemy distracts nearby normal and special enemies for a short time. And then Big Game. Brain Rot can charm elite enemies. For Minor, we have Extension. Brain Rot duration is slightly increased. Haste. Brain Rot cooldown is slightly reduced. And then Explosive. Charmed enemies explode at the end of the Brain Rot's duration, dealing toxic damage. But then, moving on to good old Cryo Freeze. As you can see here, we have the following augments. Let me get that image pulled up for you guys. For Major, we have Big Game. Cryo Freeze can slow elite enemies. Ice Cloud. Enemies that are killed while frozen may leave a cloud that slows enemies. And then Frozen Stiff. Enemies are frozen in place. For Minor, we have Extension, slightly increased slow duration. Freezer Burn, slightly increased damage to frozen enemies. And then Liquid Nitrogen, significantly increase your chance for Cryo Freeze to activate. So again, to name some of these augments are relatively the same across some of the different ammo mods, just so that's clear. I think that makes the most sense, honestly, for this system. But then moving on to Deadwire, we have Chain Lightning. The stun enemy can spread the stun to others. Big Game, Deadwire can stun elite enemies. And then Lightning Strike, a bolt of lightning strikes from above, stunning all normal and special zombies in the area. For Minor, we have High Voltage. Deadwire deals slightly more damage. We have Haste. Deadwire cooldown is slightly reduced, and then Extension, the stun and electric field will then last longer. Moving on to good old Napalm Burst. As you can see here, for Major, we have Big Game. That's gonna burn elite enemies. We have Thermite, increase burn effect damage, and then Firebomb. Burn enemies explode on death, spreading the fire to nearby enemies. And then for Minor, we have again Extension, increase the burn duration. We have Incinerary. Each damage tick has a small chance to spread to a nearby enemy, and then Contact Burn. Initial burn effect will deal more damage. And then last but not least, we have the brand new Shadow Rift ammo mod, which is a lot of fun to use over at COD Next. And we saw some gameplay of it, I think, in the launch trailer for BO6 Zombies. We have for Major, Big Game, Shadow Rift can activate on elite enemies, Topple Danger, Warp, one enemy that deals shadow damage to others, and then Explosive Rain. Enemies that are dropped from portals will explode on contact with the ground. But then for Minor, we have Haste again. Shadow Rift cooldown is reduced. Targeted, dropped enemies will fall on other enemies. And then we have Super Massive. The Singularity's lethal radius will actually increase and kill even more enemies. But coming to the end of our augments, we have field upgrades. If you're unfamiliar with the 5 available launch field upgrades, that's Ether Shroud, Frenzy Guard, the new Dark Flare, Healing Aura, or Energy Mine. More information is here in this blog post, but you do unlock certain field upgrades at certain player levels, similar to the ammo mods. Energy Mine you get off the rip, Frenzied Guard at level 9, Dark Flare, the new one, at level 20, Healing Aura, a really useful one, at level 33, and lastly, a very important one, Ether Shroud, at player level 47. So, jumping into our augments here, first off with Ether Shroud, we have Group Shroud. Nearby players are also cloaked. That's huge. Burst Dash. Warp forward a short distance, killing all normal enemies in your path. We then have Void Sheath. Swap to your dedicated melee weapon as it's imbued with Dark Ether energy. Kills allow you to stay in Ether Shroud even longer. That is insane, by the way. For Miner, we have Instant Reload. Activation instantly reloads your currently held weapon. Extra Charge, increase max charges by 1. And then we have Extension. Ether Shroud duration is significantly increased. Moving on to our new one, known as Dark Flare. Very excited about some of the upgrades for this one. We have Extension. Obviously, you can increase your duration of the Dark Flare. Supernova. The beam is replaced with a sphere that damages nearby enemies as it travels. The ball detonates at the end of Dark Flare's duration. Then we have Dark Pact. Beam heals and revives other players on contact. Then, as for the minor augments, we have Broad Beam. Significantly increase the size of the beam. Heavy Shadow. The beam slows enemies on contact. Extra Charge. Increase max charges by 1. But then moving on to a returning field upgrade from Cold War. Once again, we have the Frenzied Guard. This one was added post-launch, I believe. So for Major, we have Phalanx. Teammates can also repair armor from kills while near you. We have Retribution, trigger an explosion on activation. Normal enemies that melee the player are damaged and knocked down. Then we have Frenzy Fire. When frenzied, use ammo from the stock. So it's like stock option. But then for minor augments, we have Repair Boost, repair more armor per kill. Extension, increase the duration of Frenzied Guard. And then we have Rally. On activation, repair all nearby teammates' armor to full. Moving on to a very, very useful field upgrade alongside the Ether Shroud. I mean, all of them are great, but you know how important this one is. We have Healing Aura. So we have Resilience. All affected players have their health regen delay reduced and their rate of healing increased temporarily. We have Enduring Radiance. The beams and their healing effects persist for a short time after leaving the area of effect. And then Persistence. Revived players keep all perks on their bleed out bar. But then for minor, we have Inner Strength. Affected player damage is slightly increased for a short time. Protection. Healed players have damage slightly mitigated for a short time. And lastly, Stoic Presence. On activation, special and elite enemies are stunned while normal enemies will be knocked down. But coming towards the end of this blog, we have Energy Mine yet again, which we went over earlier in this video. So we're going to skip this one for now. Now don't worry, I know it's been a fairly lengthy video so far, just talking about the augments alone. So stay tuned for a follow-up video here on the channel and additional coverage over on Detonated, talking more about match preparation, loadouts, Gobblegums, weaponry, equipment. There was quite a bit detailed here in this blog. If I went over all of it in this video alone, this is probably gonna be a 30-minute video. I don't want to make it too long for you guys, but of course, you could have been referring to timestamps down below to skip to certain topics that you want. Happy to see nice, new, and beautiful HD screenshots of every aspect here for Black Ops 6 Zombies, and we now know every single Gobblegum that is going to be coming here at launch. So you could see about, what is that? About 28 Gobblegums available day one. You got 7 in each row. Additional access, operators, intel, and even more. They'll be dropping more info, of course, before the October 25th release. But pre-game menu intel, weapon select, you have Gunsmith. It's obviously a global Gunsmith, which means that you're going to have a build that you can bring to any game mode without having to change any of the attachments, if that's what you want to do. Wonder Weapon in the weapons menu as well, because you could, of course, apply an associated skin you may unlock by completing an Easter egg. So I'm not sure what that looks like, but yeah, Wonder Weapon skin could be applied. Is that one right there on the Beam Smasher? I'm not sure. Gotta zoom into that later. But here's the operator select menu for Black Ops 6 Zombies as well, on top of confirmation here that the other menus for Zombies will include your progression, your challenges, as well as customize, right? And then we have Zombies Intel. So if you find audio logs, documents, and artifacts, you can, of course, preview those at the menu. And then, of course, your stats. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. How are you feeling about the latest reveal for the launch experience in Black Ops 6 Zombies? Again, we have other blogs still on the way when it comes to weapons, gear, and, of course, progression. We'll be talking more about that in some separate videos. Feel free to also check out my video from earlier today, talking more about the new COD HQ interface and a bit of a walkthrough leading up to the preload of Black Ops 6 this Monday. I really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.